how many other different colleges come under the ambit of NMAT by GMAC?
There are about 12 colleges. There are 12 universities that are there in this.
And what's the plan going forward?
Plan going forward is to make this test as the test for the country.
Right.
So obviously, more number of institutions are likely to join in. I believe that the NMAT executives have been meeting the Ministry of HRD and other officials in the regulatory regime, as also in the business schools, trying to market this test. If everything goes well, we hope to really have a larger number, a very big pool of business schools of all categories coming into the play.
Right. So one question that comes to mind is, why has GMAT come into India?
Well, ideally that should be answered by the GMAC only. But nonetheless, since I am on the board, so I can respond from whatever I know of the President's mind there. I think there are two reasons for this. First and the foremost is the opportunity that exists in India. The demographic advantage that this country has today makes it one of the most attractive destinations for education institutions and all the service providers and other allied forces, allied services that are contributing to the education industry, which includes obviously the testing also. So for GMAC it looked a very obvious choice to really get into the India market, which contributes today to a fairly substantive numbers. If you look at the number of students going outside India, there are fairly substantive numbers that are going. So they wanted to have an operation, a test for India. The second reason I think which is there is the GMAT by itself is a very expensive test. Yeah. They wanted to have another test which was of a lower price but had the same features and the quality which GMAT was offering worldwide. And we were the best. Obviously our test NMAT had everything that GMAT offers at the world level. So it was a natural choice for them to come and shake hands with us.
So they looked around and found NMAT to be the best partner.
That's it. So they found it to be the best. They found it as one of the most competitive tests and something which really had the same philosophy, same values, and the two institutions also shared the same dream.
Right. And similarly successful.
And similarly successful.
So what is the future of NMAT by GMAC in India?
Well, if you look at any admission test and the management education today, one of the most important kind of a requirement today is that of diversity in the class. Increasingly, over a period of time, I have seen, and we have all seen it, and this is an issue that is being discussed and debated across the world, that the diversity in the MBA class is today very much reduced. In the context of India, if you look at it, the largest number in the class consists of engineers.
That's true.
The number of girls in the program are limited to about 18%, 19%, 11%, 12%. That is the kind of a percentage which is there. Because the pool has not been such a big one of the girls taking the management admission test. Fortunately, in the context of NMAT, and I go back into the historical to be able to connect it to the future itself. Fortunately for us in NMAT, this diversity was never a problem. Because we had the gender diversity, almost about 38 to 39% of the students were girl students. And that is the reason why NMIMS today this year took a conscious decision that from this year onwards we are going to keep 30% of the seats in the MBA program only for the women.
That's wonderful.
So we already had the gender diversity. Two, if you look at it from the point of view of the education streams, we had students coming from engineering, humanities, social sciences, medical sciences, and other streams. So from the educational point of view also, we had that. Work experience, again, people with work experience and without work experience. Then it wasn't just merely limited to Western India, where the students from all over the country. So the geographical diversity was there, the work experience diversity was there, the gender diversity and education diversity. Given all this kind of a situation now, clearly the future is in terms of increasing this diversity. And today there is a need to not just merely bring a geographical diversity within the country, but also bring the global kind people also, or the world itself, into this test. When we are able to do that, truly speaking, what we would have is a multi-ethnic kind of an admission test. When multi-ethnicity comes into the test and into the classroom, I believe that the value of a discussion in the classroom becomes much more to a student and also to the teacher. So from one point of view, the future is in terms of more diversity, because the test is going to be offered across the various geographies. Two, the future is that when it is offered in different geographies, more business schools in those geographies will start accepting the test. And when they start accepting the test, they would have their own students also writing this test. And therefore, this test is likely to emerge as a national benchmark in those respective geographies where no such kind of a benchmark today exists. Within India, we do hope that we should be, NMAT by GMAC should be, alongside with CAT, should be the next test that is available for this country. And the largest number of management students should be writing for this admission test.
So from what you say, I gather that for international students wanting to study in India, this would become the test to take.
That's what we want, that's what we are saying. But that is not to say that the GMAT would still not be available. GMAT would still be available. Right. That is not to say that the GMAT would not be there. So those markets where there's a price sensitivity,
yes,
you know,
Southeast Asia,
Africa,
yes,
Eastern Europe, right? These are the Central Europe,
yes,
you know, these are the markets, Latin America, these are the geography where we do hope that as we go forward in the next 10 to 15 years, this should really become the test in the world market, and alongside with the GMAT. So GMAT and NMAT should be there.
And it seems like NMAT by GMAC will almost internationalize management education in India.
That's right. That's right. They will globalize the management education experience in India itself. Yes.